So today we're with past Grandworthy matron Sarah G.S. Horne. Sister Sarah, which state do you currently reside in?
In the state of Maryland.
And when were you initiated into the Order of the Eastern Star?
In the year of 1996.
Was it 1966?
1966.
Yes.
1966.
Yes. And when did you serve as worthy matron in Martha chapter?
1979.
And what were your main fundraising activity for Martha chapter that year?
The main fundraising activity was I brought the Reverend James Cleveland from Los Angeles, which was $8,000. The Voices Supreme from Mount Sinai Baptist Church on 3rd Street Northeast,
yes,
which was $1,500, and presented them at the DAR Constitution Hall. It was the third Friday, I believe, in June.
Yes. And I understand it was sold out.
A complete sellout. Adults was $10 and children $12, under $7. A complete sellout.
And you all made quite a bit of money.
Yes, we did. After paying the expense that was incurred, it was $8,000 to bring the Reverend James Cleveland here, and $1,500, I believe. It wasn't under $1,000, I believe.
Right.
It was for Voices Supreme.
And you all made a CD. You got a CD with your proceeds?
Yes, I got a CD for Martha chapter in the amount after giving out some contribution to charities. A CD for $10,000 to Martha chapter, my beloved chapter.
Isn't that wonderful?
In the year of 1979, I was worthy matron, not grand now, worthy matron.
Worthy matron.
Mm-hmm.
And then what year were you grandworthy matron?
I was grandworthy matron in 1996.
Yes. And as grandworthy matron, what were some of your charities then?
As grandworthy matron, I went to visit every Monday the aged people,
That started?
senior citizen, and they were located up on 17th Street, I believe.
Northeast, wasn't it?
Northwest. It was in Northwest.
Washington?
Every Monday,
All right.
I would go up there. I would help the directors of that place that had at least 120, between 120 and 200 seniors up there.
That's wonderful.
They could feed themselves. There were maybe 15 of them couldn't feed themselves, but the other 189 or 90 could feed themselves. But I would go up and help them get dressed, stay for lunch, help them after lunch to get themselves together and back to their room. They had a special dining room that those that were able to come out of their rooms, we brought them to the dining room in wheelchairs, some by walks, and helped them along the way.
Well, that's quite a charitable spirit you have.
And I did that for more than 5 years, I know.
So how much?
And I did that every Monday because I was off on Mondays.
That's wonderful.
That's why I spend my Mondays.
That is such a wonderful thing to
And I would leave home early. I leave home by 7:30 in the morning because the rush hour. I would get up there at least by 8:30 with transportation.
Yes.
And I spend the day up there, stay up there until 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I come home.
Now tell me, how much interaction or participation do you currently do in the Eastern Star?
I work so much in the Eastern Star. They don't do what we did then. There were 14 chapters. Redemption was the last chapter when I was in there. They have 2 more added. And each one of those 14 chapters, we didn't have a chapter 13 now. 12 was thrift and 14 was redemption.
Yes.
There were a worthy matron and a worthy patron head of each one of those chapters. I visited all of those chapters on their visitation, because all were scheduled different. I stayed in touch. We had like a sister club, which I don't think they have it now. We stayed in touch. We planned our activities and got the support of the 14 chapters there. You say 14, but we never had 13. The generation behind me and behind them had some feelings about 13. I read about it, but I'm not going to talk about it.
Right.
They never wanted a 13, so that's why they never had a 13 chapter. But I kept in touch with all of my sisters. I visited all of my chapters. I knew all of my sisters and my brothers that served. One or two we met at conductresses, but the others we started. I never started in Martha chapter. The cross started me as the Christian flag bearer, which took precedence over the other. She started me as the American flag bearer, and that night when she called an officer, she called me as the Christian flag bearer. And I wouldn't say anything to her because she was in the East. But as soon as she got these, she said, "Shut your mouth, I'll tell you about it later."
All right, so they put you to work right away, yes? Put you to work right away.
Went to work. I didn't serve the other flag bearers.
Right.
I went from the Christian flag bearer, Francis Cross.
Now, I need to know some other things, Sarah.
Go ahead.
I need to know what are some of the changes that you see in the Eastern Star in today's time?
The changes I have seen, never would believe it if I had not lived and seen it. The difference.
The difference, big difference.
A big difference. I remember that the same room that the Eastern Star meets in now, you couldn't get a seat in that room if you didn't get there 5:30 and 6:30, because they knew that with the meeting going to start at 7 o'clock. You couldn't get a seat in there.
And now?
Now, if you count 20 people.
Yeah, so.
And the room seats 250 people, I think.
Yeah, so what do you attribute that to?
It's a generation changes. As a generation changes, and I put a lot on the leader of any organization. You have got to have time. You have got to have God first, time, and the love for people for it to have made such drastic change that I have seen. I don't know what has happened, but I still blame the leadership. For everything goes wrong with an organization, I blame the leadership. If the leadership doesn't produce or handle an organization or handle people as she would want to be handled, that organization not going to progress.
So that's what you would say to these young people today.
I would
listen to your leader or to the leader. Be in touch with your members. Talk to them.
Talk to them. Handle them. Another thing I impressed while I was in the East, when I got my big sisters together, I knew they were saying the same thing. Never you hold the gavel of the highest authority that they could give to you. Never sound that gavel foolishly.
Yeah.
And never sound that gavel on a senior person. If they're walking between this altar and this dais where the Bible is, not in certain places you're not supposed to walk. I said, don't sound the gavel. You come out of the East, go down on whichever side that person is walking, because I've seen that happen, and take that person back up.
And
from
teach
the
them the right way.
Take them the right way on the flow plan.
Yes.
After the meeting, just before, after all the visitors, if any, but if no visitor, you state before you close the meeting, this is something for you to take and to keep. You never cross between here. I came out of these and showed them.
So that's the mark of a good leader, I would say.
How you are supposed to come in, and how you're supposed to go out. There's another thing. When they come into that room, they're supposed to have the gloves on, not at the altar putting gloves on. I go out to the sentinel and tell the sentinel, make sure that when you admit anybody in this room, they must have those gloves on. Don't come in here putting no gloves on. I'm not going to put up with it.
So I would say to you, just listening to you, that a leader has to take time with their members and teach them if they don't know.
And love them.
And love them.
I would come out of the east, show them the routine you're supposed to use, go back, take them outside the door. Sentinel does his job, what he's supposed to do, admit us. I'm the leader. I lead them to how they're to marshal, lead them to that altar, and how they're supposed to address the altar, and how they're supposed to step over 3 steps to Martha's chairs.
Okay, now we're coming to the end of our interview. Is there anything that you'd like to say to Eastern Stars and Masons who might like to learn from past Grand Worthy Matron Sarah G.S. Horne? What could you say to them?
I would like to meet with all of the worthy matrons of the
13th aboard. It's
15
now.
15, 2 more added.
Now, yes.
I'd like to meet with all of them.
Yes.
The worthy matrons, the worthy patrons, the conductress, the associate matron, the associate conductress, and the conductress. The key officers of all of the organization. I would like to meet with every one of those chapters and every one of them in that room at one given time and tell them all get it like they're supposed to get it.
I surely would like to be the bearer of that news and try to get them all to come and see you. I would like to do that.
I would put you for chairman.
Yes.
And you get.
I will get them for you, so you can give them those words of wisdom.
You get. It's a co-chairperson I'm gonna give you. Okay. I can't think of her name right now, but you get the five of you.
I will do that.
And I want you to get the leaders of all of the organization.
All right.
In that Eastern Star room.
All right.
And
you're going to speak to them.
Huh?
And you're going to speak to them.
I will be the speaker to them.
All right. And on that note,
I will be
Sarah, on that note, we're just going to end our interview with you, and we're going to work on trying to have you meet with them. They need your words of wisdom.
And you need to get 3 more people on your committee.
I will do that. I will work on 3 more
people that are concerned about the progress of these organizations.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That have concern about declining rather than progressing.
I will certainly do that. It would be my pleasure to do it.
And if you have them, you get all of the officers of all of the 14 chapters. Okay. 16 now, because it's Matty R. Griffin
and Roger Robert Underwood. All right.